What's up, everybody? We're back with some Lancer. More importantly, our titular title, the Spare Brigade. We've been on hiatus for about a week. Sometimes life happens, gets in the way of some things, but it's also finals and it's becoming the holiday season. So some of us actually have to take a leave. Jules, aka Jules Harlock, or I am blanking on their name, but I can just check. Paptu, as well as Ikuza1, will not be playing with us tonight. So tonight will be some really wonderful roleplay, and then aftermath from our disastrous battle on Bandy Prime. We're going to go around the room and have everyone introduce themselves. But primarily, I also like to take this time to thank Retrograde Minis for allowing us to make some cool mechs on their system. Check out retrogrademinis.com if you want to make some cool Lancer mechs for the fuck of it, for your own games, for what have you, Secondly, this overlay was done by Raven, I think Raven Evermore, is that the full title, right? So just go to, there'll be a plug for the Raven and their commissions. They do wonderful streaming stuff, and they do wonderful art stuff for the tabletop community. I'd like to thank them so much for this. This is kind of a really cool, iconic overlay system that we have going on here. Finally, Paul Melanson is responsible for some of the music you'll be hearing tonight. Like this track right here called it's a good song. Hopefully that we'll be seeing some interesting places to plug them soon. But regardless, I could be more thankful for music like this. And finally, our theme that you heard on our break screen, the theme for the Spare Brigade, was made by the Simulacra. Got it right this time. At the Simulacra, does really wonderful themes for podcasts and character theming. So if you want a character to have a cool theme, he's very affordable and just a very cool and genius composer as well. So thanks to all those people for their hard work, as well as the art from our own Katie, which you'll hear from soon enough. So let's begin with our roll call here. Patrick, would you like to introduce yourself?
Oh, I guess I can do that. Hi, everybody. I'm Pat. I am Attactrick on Twitch and on Twitter. This is my channel with that same name and how to spell it and find me places. Welcome. Yeah, I'm playing... Oh God, who am I playing? I'm playing Axon Dermot. He is our resident bad boy, e-boy. That was his... He was a Cosmo Brawl contestant who has been conscripted into the military and I think is doing a great job so far.
You took a lot of damage. That was actually quite commendable. How because it could have been way worse. They could have been just all over you guys, but they were all trying to take a bite out of you.
I am a snack in this game.
You are. I don't think that can be disputed. I don't know. I don't think your name even needs to be said. You just need to just pop up some aviators and just and they'll know immediately who we're talking about. So yeah, this is your channel. You can see other cool stuff from Pat. And I'd like to thank him for also allowing us to stream here. Really wonderful work he does here. So keep checking out his Twitter at this channel, Attactrick. And yeah, next we have Talon, Catherine or Kathina.
Remember to unmute myself this time. I am playing Talva or Talon, and she is the group's medic who specializes not necessarily in humans, but she tries, and making goo, sentient goo that she uses both in battle and sort of like medically and whatnot. They are her children. And in terms of me, I do art stuffs and arts, so like character drawing and like logo work, emblem work, that sort of thing. I can be found at Katina Draws on Twitter or on Instagram, and I think that's everything.
Alrighty. Check them out at Katina Draws. A Children of the Ooze. Jules won't be able to introduce themselves, but normally you can find them at Ikuzu1. Really great filmmaking stuff, as well as just generally being around and being into cool anime robots and mecha, that kind of stuff. Normally I'd say thank you, Jules, but good luck with your studies and stuff like that. Next we have Ruhig, or Alex. I think they froze. Oh, yes, they did. Yes, they did freeze. Technical difficulties on Alex's end. How about we? We'll come back to Agent Boss. How about Leland? Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hey everyone, I am Leland / Leopold the Just. I don't do really anything other than promote other people that do stuff. Anyway, you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, promoting other people that do stuff. Besides this game that I'm doing, which was fun. Yeah. Oh, and I'm playing Thaddeus Brink, aka the Sloth, who pilots the Mosquito, and he is basically an international superstar, you know. But really, yeah, he's not, but he pretends to be, so we'll see how long that lasts.
Okay. Well, check out Leland's stuff. He is just really cool and entertaining, and love to see what he has in store for the future, streaming wise. So while we still wait for Agent Boss, I will introduce myself. I am Anthony Dardarus at Chatterbox AVA. I'm kind of an amateur voice actor. I mostly do this, kind of like Leland. And I've been just kind of listed on Twitter, being part of the tabletop community. It's really exciting, and I hope to be part of streams someday when I'm not in school and other stuff. So just check me out on Twitter. I got other stuff in the works, kind of here and there. But otherwise, I'm just excited to be here, and I'm happy to run this show. So we'll I guess we'll cut straight into it while we wait for our bud here. So last session, you smashed a lot of bugs, a lot of creatures, things that had too many limbs and too many eyes, too many to care for, personally. And this was all part of an assault on the world of Bandy Prime, a planet in the middle of colonization, blocked by some of the quarantining measures on the Meda Cluster due to these what do they call them? Exotic organisms, exos, that plague the cluster at this time. Part of why you've been sent here as part of the 105th Armored Calvary Brigade. And so, after being briefly holed up in an underground base of the planet's local interspace garrison, you debark on this major life-threatening quest to get to your mechs and then kick some ass. And you kick some ass. Guns are blazing. Someone flies up in the air and does this super high sniper shot that destroys a particularly bad and commanding presence among these wild creatures, as well as becoming aware of a giant floating storm cube that was responsible for perhaps summoning all these creatures here. So that's our where we begin our story again. After killing a primal leader-like exo, the cube and its storm turned into a flurry of violence. The ground began to shake, objects lifting into the air and being siphoned towards the gargantuan exo, the cube. Sumi Arata, a marine with potential as a pilot, and Dasra Thacker, the lieutenant left in charge of Bandy, are being sucked in by the cube, as were several members of the brigade. We set our sights back on our heroes, clinging to each other as the cube vibrated ominously.
Okay.
Okay, so no word on Alex so far already. Let me know if you hear this audio. There we go. Now, I at least can hear it now. The space elevator that is part of this planet lurches by the strength of the Exo's supernatural event. You hear loud metallic screeches, rivets being pried off the elevator, and massive parts tearing from its sides. All of your mech's gauntlets begin to shake, the rivets on them tearing one by one off. Eventually, your gauntlets give way, tearing off of your frames, and just as you sail through the air, propelled like a bullet towards your doom, shuttles dive in from the storm clouds, from orbit, and pull you to their underbelly. Magnets catch the backs of your mechs as the shuttles fly past you. Hold on, sorry, I'm trying to set
What did
set
I
some...
miss?
Oh, you guys were being propelled to your doom in this vortex. Welcome back, by the way. So as I'll just
Hi,
briefly...
I hate my computer deciding that everything needs to update too.
The space, so we were back on Bandy Prime. We did a recap. You guys beat all the creatures. The Q tried to suck you in, and you're as everyone's holding on, the arms and sort of gauntlets on your mechs that tear off by the force of this creature's siphoning. And as you were about to get mulched by the creature, shuttles dive in from orbit, piercing through the storm clouds and magnetizing the backs of your mechs onto their underbellies. Alrighty, hold on. Sorry, just trying to get this voice changer to work. Alrighty. A radio transmission finds its way through the storm. All interspace personnel, this is the independent patrol vessel Nukai. You are hereby relieved of duty until further notice. If you angle the cameras on your mechs, the shuttles you carry that carry you aloft bear the mark of a dragon clutching a grenade, a symbol.
Do I recognize this symbol?
You will. I will about to say this is the insignia of the Meda Dragoons. I will put it in chat because it sounds cool. Meda Dragoons. Other shuttles arrive from the clouds, bearing mech frames on their backs, mag clamped, and bearing heavy artillery. Fierce red and purple paint adorns them. One of them a slim, archer-shaped frame, and another a massive frame with 4 arms and massive weaponry. Another appears to be bearing an entire Gauss battery used in frigates on its arms, with massive cords running down onto a battery, mag clamped into the bottom of another shuttle, as all of them are getting dangerously close to the cube. Alright, team, we get another shot of this thing. Fire it well! You watch as a barrage of fire from the shuttles and the frames begin to pepper the cube. Streaks of lightning flare out and lash towards the vessels. The source of the cube. When they miss, you see them bombard the planet's surface below, craters forming in fierce lines according to the evasion patterns of the Dragoons. The giant mech is flown closest, as you see it dip its ferro lance against the glassy surface of the cube, rippling across one face in striations of shattered glass. The railgun on the other frame rocks projectiles into the cube, so the massive recoil sending its shuttle twirling. Woo! Well, that's what I'm talking about! Science! You're all flown to the ground level where the siphoning has stopped. The mag clamps release, and your mechs fall to the ground in near heaps. Just as you have time to look back at the cube, it seems to glimmer and shine with a brilliant light that glares across the entire planet, and then ding, winks out of existence. The storm's quickly fading from sight. If you look across the battlefields and your frames, you will see that there are no traces of the exos you have eliminated. The creatures that lay strewn, no longer present. Even their blood, their residue, is no longer present on the shape of your frames.
That saves a lot of cleanup.
So, before we continue, how's everyone dealing with all of this information?
Our mechs are definitely still damaged, though, right?
Yes, I'd say anything you might have used to cling onto the space elevator or the surface was torn off by the sheer force of its siphon.
Oh no, I'm just trying to make sure we didn't all trip on something or group hallucination events.
Yeah,
I mean, you
was
guys.
Go
Oh,
ahead.
good. No, go.
I was gonna say, yeah, I was about to ask. I didn't just dream all that, did I? All that ass I kicked.
I mean, it'd be, as far as I know, it'd be weird for us all to have the same hallucination. Though,
It would have to be psychic in nature if it was so.
and I mean, it'd have to.
And by the way, Sean's voice right now is not raspy.
Yeah, I mean,
And I haven't personally faced anything that is psychic in nature so far. You'd think there would be more signs, so I'm pretty sure it is reality.
Yeah, I think it is too. It hurt too much for it to be a dream.
So what appears like to me is you guys are confirming that what you had faced previously was reality, and you didn't group hallucinate it or any other manner of thing. And Sumi Arata kind of picks up from her power lifter, which is kind of just in shambles, and she's kind of crawling out of it. Oh, well, I mean, if it was a dream, it must have been a fucking nightmare. I don't think I could come up with any shit like that. Not in this head of mine.
I mean,
Rather pleasant nightmare, actually.
I mean, it doesn't have to be psychic. People, their mass hysteria is a thing. Like there was like this human village back in the years and hundreds of years ago that all like danced themselves to death or something. It's probably not that, but I don't know how I'd spit up all this acid on my mech with my head.
It doesn't seem to benefit anyone to do such a thing. Honestly, we should believe the thing we saw in front of us. You know, it seems kind of.
Yeah, let's keep fighting it like it's real, even if it's not.
As you come to terms with this, the shuttles with the dragoon frames land nearby. The mechs declamp and they don't take a breather necessarily, but they seem to just sort of land on the surface, and some of them kind of slightly flex a bit and brandish their blades. You hear from the archer frame. I'm gonna send you a photo in Discord chat, and I'll link it in Twitch as well. Actually, I could just make it. I'll since we have it, I'll just make it a handout.
Yeah. I'll show it off in Roll20 on the stream.
Yeah. Oh, actually, hold on. I have to. Sorry for the small. I should have prepared this earlier. Ready. I'll just do. gonna call this Mysterious Dragoon Leader. I'm gonna make it to, right, and then here. And then I'm just gonna show it to you. And so it should come up right here. Make sure it gets to the center of the screen.
Oh, it's
there you
going.
Go.
It's
All right,
going.
so you guys see this this frame right here? Alrighty, so the Archer frame, the voice kind of is broadcasted from the Archer frame. You hear a just kind of this from the loudspeakers. Teleported again. What a waste. The voice is calm and commanding, but also disappointed. And you see kind of I'll classify this as a Vlad frame if you guys want to look it up later. The larger mech with the lance as it fought the cube. It got off its shuttle and its four arms just flexed. And the person inside the mech is just silent. Perhaps just a job well done. You wish the other guy, the one with the railgun frame, was quiet, because he seems to be kind of laughing and very excited, sort of adrenaline pumped. The hunt continues. I haven't had a learn set of fights like this in years.
Does anyone else feel like we missed some kind of like briefing, or like did somebody else get like an information packet when we landed on this planet?
No one ever tells me shit.
I know we were supposed to be helping protect the colonies from exos
I have a
that
question.
had been showing up in the area.
What, Katie?
Do I have? Okay. She's wondering kind of out loud if that weird cube was perhaps like biological in some manner, and kind of grossed out at the thought that something that aberrant could exist.
I definitely think that's possible. And when it disappeared, probably just phased back into whatever dimension it came from.
I mean,
Are you guys speaking out loud right now?
Yeah.
Yep.
It doesn't surprise me that you've been told nothing. The voice from the Emperor frame kind of responds to your active wonderment. The Emperor frame actually seems to open up. It peels apart at its center. A woman emerges and steps onto the platform slowly that is rolled out by the frame. She is covered in sweat despite her serene, commanding glances and a knowing aura. She's armored in a well-protected spacesuit bearing the mark of the Dragoons. A set of gold stars adorn her spaulders, and a set of projectors on the collar of her suit display a holographic dragon's head around her bald head and black skin. She is badass, is all I can say. I imagine you haven't reunited with your Armored Calvary Brigade. Apologies for the delay as we were handling the creature. Let's just say it disapparated during our battle 2 systems away and found its way here. I imagine this puts a significant reduction in...
What species are they?
She's human.
Okay.
She's human. She's
As far as we know.
She's an adult black woman, and just kind of garbed in like the most badass armor you can comprehend.
With a
Just
holographic dragon head that Axon is super jealous of.
She doesn't even need to mess around with it or kind of fiddle with it to for people to see it. She's just letting it do its thing, if that makes sense. Let's see here. Well, we'll have to wait until we catch a trace of it in real space again. But I suppose we should thank you for keeping it occupied while our people got in orbit. We wouldn't have gotten here as quick as we did without your signal.
Out of curiosity, were the things that we fought before the big cube what drew the cube here, or did the cube come and then those followed?
In our normal encounters with the petrichor, since you don't have a name for it, that's what we call it. The petrichor is like a gravity well, but for these creatures. Does that make sense? It is large and imposing. It is something from beyond the veil. As for these creatures, whether they're created by its emergence here or a part of it, we're not entirely certain. I imagine you should probably be asking your commanders and not a technical enemy of the state.
Oh,
Like us. Go ahead, sorry.
No, it's I was just so that's your title is enemy of the state.
Prospector General of the Menet Dragoons, Joan Donahue.
The regalia doesn't really go with that. I like it.
Let's just say we have enemies in high places. Is that not why you're here? To bring us to heel, to order?
That would be a great question for some leadership that we are, surely gonna meet soon.
Thacker climbs from the wrecked powerlifter frame, stumbling out, kind of landing on his back. He looks nauseous as one could be, being flipped around in a sort of metal hailstorm. Yes. Why are you listening to this lady? Didn't she just confess to bringing this creature here? He kind of like stretches his arm out to kind of the wrecked landscape, and
well, I mean, they were fighting it, and then it came here. Those, correlation doesn't equal causation.
it was, let's say, a tragic and unfortunate consequence that we had to bear fighting it off on Ekis. It had a pattern of, let's say, reoperating in other places, but we didn't expect it to operate out of confrontation with us as quickly as it did.
So you're telling me you tried to fight this thing somewhere else and then it got out of hand?
Thacker kind of... Oh, go ahead, sorry.
I was gonna say, or did I misconstrue?
Thacker seems to kind of interrupt and kind of agree with your theory. Yes, it sort of seemed like you came in with guns blazing instead of perhaps trying to contain the creature or fight off or just make sure it didn't hurt public settlements, which led it here and destroyed countless lives. All the research we've been collecting on this planet this far, and setting back the colony years. We've been trying to get this thing off the ground since the Meda Blitz, and now this is unconscionable. I don't know how many colonists are going to be able to find their way here and actually have anything to build. Build cairns, perhaps, but certainly not develop a civilization on the surface. Sumi Arat. Oh god.
Listen, things happen, and being upset about it does nothing. I've been upset before, but doing this is not productive. You need to figure out what you need to do next instead of complaining.
That's exactly what I was thinking. The past has already happened. Nothing that we can do about it except proceed forward, knowing a little bit more about what the hell we're dealing with.
Joan kind of shrugs. I don't necessarily need to be excused. We are doing our part to fight these creatures. I'm more curious to see what Interspace has actually done in handling the situation where where we lack. Well, perhaps a better term is I would love to see evidence of a better way, a better strategy. But as it seems, perhaps the Meda Dragoons is better defending this place, this cluster, than the actual alliance that claims ownership to it. And you can kind of begin to see that they are very much radical, and the vessel, the new Kai, it was called an independent patrol vessel, which is basically saying these are at the at described to the very least of radicalism, a militia, and at the very most secessionists. Sumi kind of just comes up and kind of puts a stern hand on Thacker's mouth, and kind of just kind of abruptly bumps in. I think what Thacker's trying to say is we're very grateful for saving our lives, militia. You should probably get moving before the 105th gets here. And Sumi is kind of like giving a nudge to like the massive frames that are still in operation and the your guys' mechs that are not. Regardless of it, what she thinks, she knows that insulting the people that saved your lives and are armed to the teeth probably not a good idea. And you see Joan checks her radio, puts a set of fingers to her ears, nods quickly, and kind of just walks back into her mech. The girl's right. We shall be on our way. Hopefully we'll never meet again under these circumstances, Interspace. Stay out of our way, and we won't have any problems in the future. The mechs relatch onto the surface, onto the shuttles. Kind of, if there's anything you guys want to say to them right now before they leave, now's probably a good time.
I have something to say once they leave.
I think I'm just looking on. Adoringly might be too much, but like impressed and like fascinated.
Mm-hmm. They are strangely armored. While your mechs are very impressive and will be more impressive over time, they seem like they have funding. And the militia with funding is interesting and potentially dangerous, depending on who's looking at what that's projecting, because these things seem state of the art. The insignia is right there on the shoulders and the backs and the chest plates. So it's kind of up in the air on how you should approach a very well armored, perhaps just looking for an excuse of militias.
Oh yeah, I mean, having not a real military background, I'm more in awe of like, oh hey, look at these coordinated people that actually seem to know what they're fighting. Can I talk to you more? I want strategies for what you do against these things that apparently just live here and we have to deal with.
Mm-hmm. So they fly back up towards orbit, and the skies are clear now. The sun is back on your backs, but you turn your eyes and see the light kind of shining on the wrecked surface of Bandy Prime. The spaceport is in shambles, and very few Marines are finding their way out of the wreckage. The space elevator looks akin to a root pulled from the stem, nearly toppling over its own weight. It is not fit for use. It's not fit for use. And shortly after, you guys are kind of getting your things collected, and like the mechs probably in a better state. You guys are beginning your repairs. You hear a radio frequency coming into view. This is the FAV Canopy of Joy. The 105th Brigade has received your message and is prepared for relief. And another voice comes on. Spare parts. This is Major Arthur King. What the hell happened here? And we are going to cut. I'm going to give you guys a new new time frame. The date, March 17th, 12170 Universal Standard Year. That's 2 days, or 2 or 3 days after your initial landing on Bandy Prime. Time is let's say 0682 hours Universal Standard Time. And location is the Bandy Prime Gravity Well in the Bandy System and the Meda Cluster. I'm going to put on some new things here. There we go. Alrighty. And the mission, briefing / on leave. I'm going to take some time to describe our ship here, the primary command center of the 105th Spare Parts Brigade. The Canopy of Joy is a super carrier of titanic size, only one of 3 of its class. A genesis of ancient alien technology and Federal Alliance technology, the Canopy was appropriated from alien invaders to integrate human appliances and machinery. Its chassis is a large, round shape, wider than it is tall, and a deep burgundy orange. Ancient marine biologists could compare its shape to that of an ocean sunfish, if you guys know what that is. So this thing is well and truly massive.
Marine biology is my hobby. All I'm imagining is a cross between like a sperm whale, humpback, and sunfish.
The bridge itself
You want to have that super depth through the center.
The bridge itself emerging from the body, slim and ovular at its base, sticking out the end like an arrowhead. The canopy bears an impressive collection of hangars containing shuttles, but primarily fleets of advanced drone fighter squadrons. These drones are the ship's primary offensive grid, supported by mass artillery cannons on 4 gunnery decks displaced across the vessel. The strongest defense of the canopy is a Cadian shield generator at the center of the supercarrier, unique to other Genesis vessels like the Canopy. The common strategy of the Canopy is the Cadian dive, where the Canopy places itself amid smaller enemy frigates to focus fire on itself, allowing its drones and electronics sweet time to disable and debilitate their targets. This is primarily part of its support capabilities for when it's a support vessel for traditional warfare. However, it is capable, thanks to its host of the Armored Calvary Brigade, as a fully independent operator throughout the Meda Cluster. So that's a bit of information on the Canopy. Cool. Pictures of the sunfish are I like the shape of the sunfish, not exactly the eyes and the mouth. If that makes sense. At the bridge, the Spare Parts Brigade was escorted by several Marines. You can hear your footsteps reverberating through the metallic grid composing the floor of the vessel. The walls are paneled with slick sheet metal that luminously reflect light from the bulbs above. A set of doors await before the bridge, opening with a small hiss as you're brought onto a plateau of HUDs, communication kiosks, and a primary command station at its apex. Centered to the command station are 2 men and women. Two men and a woman. As you approach, one of them turns around and gives a curt, welcoming smile. He is ludicrously tall, by most standards, long blonde hair spilling against the shoulder pads of his uniform. Several stars mark him as a major, and his muscles are hardly contained by his bridge garb. A scar runs down from the top of his forehead, connecting with his nose and ending at the far side of his chin. The scar clears through his growing beard on his chin that is connected to his mustache. A man of great experience with battle, you can tell. This must be Arthur King. Welcome to the Canopy, Brigaders. I apologize for the situation you've inherited from the Dragoons. We would have circled back with you in tow to address the battle on Ekis. We didn't anticipate the battle finding its way to Bandy, of course. How are you holding up?
How do you think we're holding up? We just saw some of the craziest shit any one of us have ever seen, and then we had to fight it. We're barely holding up. At least I am, anyway.
If you're asking about the health of the humans and non-humans, I have gone over generally, and none of them are currently dying. If that's what you're wondering.
More of Captain Brink's estimation of events. But thank you, Tava. He looks to Paptu, who's just kind of playing with some small gadgets, and isn't really paying attention. And then towards Sean Blake and our buddy Hurricane.
Sean's at full attention.
Axon is kind of glancing back and forth between the other two humans in the group and cannot determine whether this is someone that I need to be like extremely respectful to or that I can sass back, and is just remaining silent.
Yeah, I'm just sort of standing there with like a very solid look on my face. Like, I know what the hell I'm doing, and I know what sort of environment I'm in, and I know how to act and stuff, but really my internal dialogue is just like, I hope no one notices who I am. I hope no one notices who I am. And just sort of waiting to go and retreat back to my room as fast as possible.
There's a knowing look in Arthur's eyes, looking over all of you, and just sort of seemingly just fully prepared to receive complaints. But as you finish, Captain Brink, Major King sort of bows his head. Oh, that's a good estimation. Congratulations on surviving the encounter, of course. But I don't think I will need to explain to you the urgency and gravity of our mission. The circumstances created by outside forces here is making our job difficult. I wish we could have told you more, but that would have been during a briefing after you've connected with the Canopy of Joy. There is another man next to Arthur King, armored in a heartsuit with dark black colors. It appears to be a stealth suit with several pistols, knives, and drones latched onto his belt and back. He has a deep 5 o'clock shadow. His lips pressed against a cigar as he takes a good look over your team. The closest reference I have to this man is Leon the Professional, if you know that movie, or the movie adjacent where he was known from. Our involvement in the cluster complicates several aspects of these incidents. We have militias, pirate bands, rebels, and our own government in the way of actually bringing peace to this blasted sector. Well said, Dorian. This is Specialist Dorian Ludwolf. He's our tap into the information network around the collection of systems that make up the Meda Cluster. Arthur points to a woman dressed in full regalia, addressing bridge ensigns as they tread their course. Captain Briskova Yula will be taking us towards the core systems of the cluster. In the meantime, you can get yourself situated. We'll be taking multiple hitches towards the airman system while we continue to collect intel. I'd rather you rested and recovered from your ordeal before we actually get into a full briefing, unless you'd rather ask some questions now, before you're dismissed.
No questions here.
I'll prepare a full report later.
I expect a full report along with any set of complaints regarding this incident.
And of course, the tools and, in my case, chemicals to fix our mechs.
Oh, of course.
Sure.
Our engineers are working very quickly to be sure that your mech. Sorry, I slipped on my tongue a bit. What was I saying? And Dorian is like, you were saying something about the mix. Very good. Sorry. Our engineers are working very quickly to make sure your mechs are combat ready. That was exactly what I was supposed to say. Sometimes there are tongue twisters. I think you can understand that we are also reeling from this incident. It doesn't mark well on interspace, and I do have power ups I do report to regarding our primary mission, however abstract it may be.
Not to ask too prying a question before the official briefing, but how standard an event was this? Just trying to gauge how much I need to appreciate this brief time off.
What you're asking is how normal what you've just witnessed?
Oh yeah, big cubes in the sky and like semi-humanoid monstrosities. Is that
Meat
like
with legs?
yeah, with like acid teeth? Is that like a daily thing?
This is a good time where I shall perhaps give you some insight on our current intel. We're attempting to study these creatures and find out what exactly the hell they are. Because frankly, no one is, even the dragoons, seems to know. They are very hard to pin down, as you saw with the petrichor disappearing in the middle of battle. And the fact that it leaves no traces leaves our primary researcher here, Dr. Maddox, very frustrated. So at this time, we can only attempt to predict where they might appear next and handle that situation as best as we can. There is no standard. There is nothing in a rulebook that we can approach these creatures with. However, we'll be dealing with locals.
There may be. One of the communication engineers, he found that all of the insects, moments before the attack started, moments before they appeared, went silent.
Interesting. Could you add that into your report, and we'll put an investigation into it. That appears to be something. While those bugs will probably be very hard to find now that they are, needless to say, eradicated from the surface of the planet, and entire ecosystems really truly demolished on this planet. We will see what we can find with that. Perhaps anything involving the prelude to this incident might give us some clues on how we can predict or at least prepare a system or planet for something like this. Back to the matter at hand. These events happen in different parts of the cluster, and they have elastic time frames. But we will be dealing with locals. So you're not expected to fight, I don't know, just try to conjure something out of an ether. A giant hand that vomits its own mouth so it can eat creatures and then consume its own mouth again. I don't know.
What the hell are you talking about?
I don't mean to interrupt, sir, but that seems very specific.
You just described a starfish.
I'm talking. There's a starfish. Truly, nature is more crazy than the own human mind, I suppose. Then, I should rather say, what I'm trying to say is, we'll be dealing with locals because the territories involved where these sites occur are somewhat contested. You might be finding yourself amid a bed of human or non-human or let's just say just of various different enemies and opponents. They have been attempted to be communicated with, especially regarding previous sites of the petrichor. But it seems that force or espionage will be our way forward in attempting to collect any data that we can. It's really slowing things down. Not to mention that we are also contending with the dragoons, who, while they are making quite a fantastic effort against these creatures, their armaments are impressive and their strategies are sound. It does prevent us from actually getting close to these sites before they end. Not to mention what you saw before, where they have intentionally calculated the risks in fighting the petrichor and allowing it to reapparate as elsewhere. So what I'm trying to say is, you're not going to be fighting these things with each mission, but as soon as we see another event appear, we will be heading towards them and dealing with it. So, that's as best of an answer I can give you.
Plan for weirdness. Got it.
You are covering our therapy, yes?
There are licensed therapists and psychiatrists aboard.
Sean is saying this with a bit of a that crinkle-eyed smirk sort of thing.
The Armored Calvary Brigade is often requisitioned with licensed therapists and psychiatrists, so you won't have much difficulty accessing them. We also have a simulation suite that can be accessed for various different modules that will allow you to train or to relax, other things. But most importantly, the biggest objective with your time on leave is to be sure that you're ready for more weirdness or combat in general.
Thank you very much.
Of course, you have also been given new acquisitions in weaponry and the armory. You've been given License 1. You are, needless to say, without any support or covering fire, any help from the Canopy or any of our agents, you managed to successfully fight off these creatures essentially by yourselves. It is quite commendable. So we might keep your specific team on a independent basis from the actual cavalry brigade. Does that make sense? Allow you to pursue leads and address these sites that I mentioned earlier without a collective assault, if that makes sense. Well then, unless there's anything else, I suggest you get started on your leave. Make most of your time.
I almost forgot. Where could I make a request for specific biological agents and chemicals of the sort?
Dr. Maddox should have clearance on anything you're looking for.
Thank you very much.
I also suggest you keep any experimentation with these chemicals in the laboratories rather than the hangars of the frames, just for.
I assure you, the research I do is very tested, and I pull out like a little slime, like a pink slime creature with like what seems like a pulsing metal orb in the center.
Dorian kind of holds up his hand, like kind of rests the hand nearly towards his weapon. Don't bring. This is a bridge. Could you please not bring live fire weapons here? It's absolutely necessary.
Me?
Sorry, just yes. You have a creature. Isn't that part of your frame or something?
It can be just as I can use my hands, raises them, to punch you in the face, for example. This is not necessarily a weapon. It is more of a simulated life.
Then let me ask you this. In exposure to any chemical such as hydrogen, fire, anything, will it explode? Will it...
It would die. Die. This is what you do, right? Die.
And Arthur just holds up a hand. Dorian, please. You're fine. Sorry.
Kind of starts petting it.
Just don't set anything on fire is all they're asking you, alright?
Sean just leans over to Talva and is like, and I thought I overreacted about you knocking out the agents.
I mean, It seems to be natural for humans to overreact.
Maybe it's just humans that carry that number of knives. I think there's a correlation there.
That you're
You
correct.
could say that they're on edge.
Very good pun work. I think what Dorian was trying to say is he's very unaccustomed with that technology, and we still have yet to understand it. Please go ahead, Captain. Captain, Leland, you were gonna say something?
Oh no, sorry. No, I just said I didn't realize you were talking to me. No, I just said that wasn't funny. Is all I said.
Oh, okay.
I kind of wish that was in character. Like they just say captain and like you forget to respond.
Oh, sorry, you were talking to me.
Yeah, I was like in my own head, like thinking about like how can I get out of here?
Well, in general, I'd like to say that humans have an interesting dichotomy that if they see something as a weapon, they will treat it as a weapon.
From what
Regardless-
I can tell, if they see something new that they don't understand, they tend to be scared.
Like I said, if they see it as a weapon, they will treat it as a weapon. Anything new could potentially... philosophical. I don't want to waste your time. You should probably make the most of your leave. We'll be, in about 6 hours, we'll be arriving at our hitch gate to the next system. You are required by law to be... let's say asleep, right? We have specific narcotics that will put you in a form of animation that will prevent any damage from the transport. So you have 8 hours, then we go through the hitch gate, and then we'll do another day or two before we get to the next. You're dismissed.
He immediately just starts kind of like anxiously, just like walking away.
Dorian just kind of gives you this apologetic nod, just sort of like, sorry.
Sean just heads away. He's done hitch gates before.
Alrighty. So you guys have 8 hours to kill. You guys each have individual rooms. I would say the collection of places you can go. You can go to your hangar and maybe mess around with your mechs a bit. You can go to sim suites and boot something up. Something within the current catalog on the suite, except for Patu, who has a module.
I forgot about that.
There's a laboratory, firing range. If you guys want to think up of any rooms you might think sort of like a spa lounge or a psychiatrist's place. It was the same. It's
Hobby shop.
On the way, sorry.
Cafeteria. Sean, go ahead.
On the way out from the bridge, is that where we were?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I would ask this of King or if one of the lower ranking folks was maybe escorting us out. But anyone that looks like they would have an official answer for me, I would ask. Right, so no one really told me about this when my contract got moved over, but being here on the base, are there some maybe confidentiality rules in place where, say, maybe mandatory live streaming of my life all of the time was not allowed and I could get out of that? Was that... who would I ask about that? Not that I'm... not if a lawyer asked, not that I am objecting to that for my life, but if that factor could be removed.
Dorian taps you on the shoulder. Because you're asking this guy Bridgensen, he's like, I'm sorry, dude, I have no idea, and like you get the tap on your shoulder, and like he's not like rude. He's just kind of just like pensively waiting and kind of just a small smile on his face. Yes, I've heard of you and your performative nature. Anyways, so the most you need to know about live streaming is keep it out of the briefing room. That will be a very, very bad punishment on your part if we see you streaming anything involving plans, anything involving current strategies or maneuvers being developed by the Armored Calvary Brigade. Those are the biggest parts. As for your cabin, and perhaps the sim suite, for example, I don't think anyone would lose any sleep over you recording your stuff in those spaces. In fact, I think the sim suite could be good for I don't know what do you content creators do? Do you create the lights and make things a little sparkle? I don't know how that works, but I know that it's something you could probably do in the sim suite.
So, I mean, there's no chance that maybe this entire ship by military law is off limits, and any cameras and such shit that were contractually placed into all of my fucking belongings could be turned off. You know, if I wasn't.
Do you want me to
thrilled
break
about this.
things? I can break things if you're inviting me to break things. I'm not.
I would assume, like, because don't places nowadays have things that, not necessarily video jammers, but at least like white noise machines to at least block out audio wherever it's supposed to be confidential?
Okay. My personal concern as Axon is that as part of whatever my bullshit contract is for like military publicity, I'm still expected to stream here. Whereas Axon is like, am I free? Is this freedom?
Dorian appears to be like trying to clarify it for you, but he's not really getting those signals. He's just sort of like just telling you where you can and can't record.
Okay.
I hate to interrupt, but this conversation doesn't have jack shit to do with me, so I'm out of here.
You were free to leave a while ago. Okay, bye.
Yep.
Do you want me to break cameras? Is that part of some video? Am I going to be on the video?
I mean,
Am I going to be a content creator too? Huh?
Unfortunately, most things I interact with are on video, and I certainly could not say on such a recording that I would want that equipment to not work, but, you know, you're gonna do what you're gonna do, and I can't stop you.
Oh, yes, I know. I get it. Oh, smart. He just takes a puff from his cigarette. Hey, is that man supposed to be there? And Junior is by the doorway.
No,
like,
I don't think he is. I don't know why he would be allowed here.
Look at this place. This is so incredible. Oh, I can just picture like the little tripod right here, you know, following some battles, you know, some of the people scrambling around, you know, it's sort of like a live stream like A-Span. No one watches A-Span. Who am I kidding? Forget about the A-Span, all right? What we'll do is let's see. Did you mention something about SimSuite? Oh boy, we get to cook up some programming. I can get a module on Airman.
On a separate note, after like the kind of like seeing this, I am hearing him. I kind of rush up and yell catch to him.
What?
And I have specifically gotten a ball because I learned that's what you're supposed to throw at people. And I like kind of like with all four hands try and throw it, which is not really how you're supposed to throw a ball, but I do anyways. And I just like trying to like
We're going right through.
What kind of ball is it? Is it like a rubber ball?
We're playing with balls in the house.
Like a baseball?
it's
On the bridge.
it's I asked for a human ball. What would I have gotten?
All right, I'm gonna want you to make me a roll just to see what. I just want to see what happens if you make me a D20 roll.
got a 3.
All right. So, as you throw the ball towards this unsuspecting Jim Jr., you see Dorian just kind of just without even looking, and this thing. Yeah, it could be a little bit stronger throw. Throws it back to you, Talvar.
How hard?
I'm gonna roll a d20. Not that hard. You could easily catch it. He seems. He also has a finger. Oh, now that you cannot have that on the bridge.
Who says this? Is it Jim? Is it Jim?
No. This is Dorian, the Russian speaking guy.
The stinky fruit.
Yes. Don't.
I say that because it sounds like durian, not because I'm being.
Dorian. Yeah. Just don't. This is distraction. These people doing very valuable work. Now, tell me more about this content creation. Like, are we talking about like cringe comps here? And Jim Cheney's like, you know what? I'm sorry, pal. That is restricted information. Perhaps we can talk at some other time, but at this moment, my client will decline for any further confessions of
do you have
employee contract things.
Did they give you fucking security clearance?
No, I mean, I know my way to get in these places. You know, come on, let's get a tour of this place. You know, let's go to some sweet. Let's like the ball. Why don't we get you in a baseball uniform? And it's just retro, right? Baseball's so retro, it'll be laughs. Come on, kid.
Why?
And he leaves. This guy goes through the set of doors, and Dorian's just like, I like this bunch.
I have a question. Does this guy not fucking do his research? I mean, you're contractually obligated to do whatever this guy fucking spouts out. He doesn't even need to show proof that it would be good for your brand. He's just like, yes.
Me as Pat has no idea what shitty contract accent entered into. I just assumed the worst.
Seems to be part of the contract, at the very least. He seems to at least know some of the contents of the contract, and it looks like Jim is, while being a former friend of yours, I don't think he's trying to like force you to do things. He's just giving you these just like out of the blue suggestions that perhaps help your brand. So he comes to the contract, but he's not supposed to be like your handler or anything. He's your producer. So Dorian's is kind of like, I have some calls to make. But you two, three, enjoy yourselves. And he bows his head to Telva. If you want to play catch sometime, I can teach you. And he goes through the set of doors.
She's just nodding her head fervently, just like, yes, please teach me.
Alrighty, so anyone want to do anything before our hitch?
I stroll on up to Sean's.
Are you doing like a multi-armed dice walk?
Oh yeah, I have 4 arms, so I'm going like it's like immediate like it's a sight to be.
Sean's not in his quarters yet.
I knock anyways. What? That's where I expect you to be. I knock. I run over there and knock.
There is no reply yet. Sean has gone immediately to the cafeteria area to go and get himself some supplies so he doesn't go crazy on this ship with these people.
One thing I do have is patience. I sit there. So other people may do their thing.
Of course you have patience. You're the medic.
You see Sean eventually coming back with a small set of packages in his arm and looking kind of surprised to see you just standing there.
Hello. I needed to talk to you about your body.
I don't require any medical attention, if that's what you're concerned about.
So, when I was looking over you earlier, and some people told me some things, and as your medical provider, I might need to have a talk with you about your body.
All right. He lets her into his room.
This is sounding like.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
trying.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like, okay, if this is how you blow off steam, I can help you with that.
Okay, the thing is, she's socially awkward and doesn't know how to talk to people. What else is good? Oh, how am I gonna pay for these medical bills?
Yeah, no, Sean's like, once they get in and stuff, it's like he puts his packages down. He starts taking off his shirt, and he's just like, "Fair warning, it's been some time since I've been with a car."
Do I know what that? You know what? She doesn't fucking know what that means. I don't know what that has to do with. I was. You are not human.
No, I'm very human. Like she can see it now. Like there were really lovely tattoos all across his back, but now like down the sides of like back over his lungs and down the sides of back are these just horrible like burn scars.
I don't know if you could see a lizard blush.
Like, and he's got like scars, like not just on his throat, but like all down through his chest. He looks like he's been put back together again after being ripped apart.
Okay, she grabs a. Actually, she like grabs one of the like a blanket or something, puts it on the ground, and just kind of sits cross-legged and starts like asking about your medical history and like going over notes and whatnot.
Sean is like taking off his pants because, well, okay, he slept with people who have weirder kinks. Yeah.
Okay,
sure.
the moment when you start unbuckling your pants.
He's fucking naked in front of you and completely unashamed. The only thing he's wearing is one thing you do notice wrapped around his wrist.
It's like
Okay.
one of those scenes where you look away and then you look back and then like the dude's just sitting there like, "What's up?"
Like a pillow, a pillow, like kind of in four.
There is no pillow in the foreground.
It's full Schmeat. Dudes disrobe quickly, okay? Like it's kind of amazing how quickly we take off our clothes when we're ready for sex. There's no foreplay to it. Keep going, please. Also, I added a picture of Arthur King on the handouts.
Like he doesn't look like he's that interested in anything that's going on.
Why would you? Okay. She just asks what I. Okay, so I don't think this is normal. Can you put your clothes back on, please?
It's perfectly normal for a number of people to want to have sex after large exertions of energy like that.
I don't want to.
You kept saying you wanted to my body. Wasn't that what you were trying?
I just learned how to speak. I'm
sorry. And he is like legit like sighs at himself and just like puts his pants back on. Like no big deal.
Okay, yeah. So, she asks like, can I inspect your wounds?
I don't have any wounds.
Scars. They're so similar in meaning.
I don't like people touching them.
Can you tell me about them then?
Not particularly. I don't remember getting them.
Okay. I heard some things. I
What?
didn't believe them at first. But I heard that you weren't necessarily human, and I'm only trained on human and Pop2 and myself. And if anything serious happens, I don't.
I only have human physiology. I'm only human.
Okay, sorry. I
I just happen to have a number of scars.
I was just worried that maybe I would mess up and accidentally kill you, or
Trust me, you're not going to accidentally kill me.
I wasn't threatening.
No, that wasn't me being threatened.
Okay, this is far more social than she is used to, and unfortunately, loving the RP, but she cannot handle this shit right now. And now that she has basically been like, okay, your suspicions were wrong, she just kind of says, thank you for your cooperation, and leaves.
Well done.
She's cute.
Well done.
Yeah.
Captain.
Okay.
Also, I showed the link of Arthur King. It's a very small resolution art, I know. This was from a friend of mine, Jack Leah, many years ago. This character has persisted among many different generations of this setting. But there you go. And also, well done with the things and the bodies and the examination.
Okay, the thing is, I went into this being like, okay, I'm gonna interrogate them, and like, because I need to make sure that I take care of them correctly, because they're one of my patients. And then I realized she can't talk, like, to. She's anxious, and she's not the best at talking, and she doesn't necessarily want to out them in case it's something that. And so, yeah, okay, yeah.
And then Sean dropped Trow.
And then Sean dropped Trout. And
Okay.
she saw her first lizard, her first anaconda.
Oh,
Joke. I loved it.
good work. Good fucking work. Captain Brink, doing anything special?
Captain Brink is immediately retreats to his quarters. Tries to kind of like get a grip of the fact that he feels like he's in even more of like a risky situation now with people recognizing him and stuff, especially with what really sparked him to want to leave so hastily was Axel. Is that your character, Patrick?
Axon.
Yeah, Axon's talk of live streaming immediately was like, oh shit, I need to get out of here because I never want to be caught on on any of that footage. Because then that's when the internet gets a hold of it. That's when they're like, wait, that guy doesn't look like Thaddeus, huh? And so my character's just trying to like stay away from Axon. And then after a bit, he wanders around trying to find some like low-grade recreational drugs from the maintenance staff. You know, they seem like the type of guys that might know where to get something like that. Just like some like weed level stuff, you know. And he just wants to like basically just go back in his room and binge watch stuff and stay the hell away from any cameras or anybody that might recognize him.
Two things. The maintenance staff is very small for some reason. You note that they're probably engineers assigned to maintain repair drones and cleaning drones. So droids, robots are kind of the primary things that keep the place clean and up to date. They don't go into your rooms, thankfully.
Oh yeah.
And so anytime you approach one of these engineers, they're just sort of busy and like you're trying to like do the usual code words and stuff like that. It's like, look, man, I'm really busy with this, and if I don't get this corridor clean, someone's gonna be on my ass about it.
my code word is, where does the grass grow around here?
So the custodians aren't the place to go. Not to say that there isn't weed, but you'll probably find it some other time during your leave. However, as you go back to your room, a little defeated, the door slides open. There's stuff that doesn't belong to you in this room.
Oh no.
This place actually is kind of spacious compared to most pilot rooms. So most pilots on the 105th and the Canopy of Joy, they have bunks. But since you're independent agents, technically, like you guys are your own, like a squadron separate from the main fighting force of the ACB, you get your own rooms. Captain has been a part of the ACB for some time, so he probably got his pick of pretty comfortable rooms here. The bed is disturbed in the sense of like it hasn't been pulled up or cleaned or organized. Like there's no one to make your bed. So whoever was formerly Thaddeus Brink didn't really keep his bed well. There is guns lining several parts of the walls, like armory canisters, or like armory armoires, I guess. So like you can go to the armoire where the guns are kept, and you kind of see these rifles, and you kind of take a look at them. Some of them have dust on them. He hasn't been in this room in a while, apparently, because none of this stuff seems really well maintained. It's covered in dust. Some of his old clothes kind of are thrown about. The room stinks because no one has gone into this room for some time. Leftover food from the cafeteria. Captain Brink, not very cleanly. And I guess he hasn't been checked on his room enough. Like no one has given him any warning because he's Captain Thaddeus Brink. No one would go into his room and be like, "This place is a pigsty. Clean yourself up, you fucking degenerate." So
What you say to me?
there is a poster that looks more pristine than others. Like there's not as much dust on it. It is a city, a station amid these green vapors and clouds. It looks like a photo more than art. It looks like a well-maintained ornate city in the clouds. And there's a little signature on the bottom corner that you don't recognize. There is a council on a nearby desk. There is plenty of clothes in another sort of cabinet or drawer that he somehow got the resources to put here. He has a couple modules in his place. Most of them seem to be very more intense combat sims, personal, like not mechs, but like individual like shooting ranges and like combat scenarios. Others seem to be a little bit more lewd, in the sense of massage and backbreaker, and there's one that's just don't install. Either a message to himself to not to use it, or a message to other people like a porn folder, like do not open. You don't call it your porn folder, you just call it do not open.
Homework.
So clearly a lot in this man's room. I don't know, how is fake Captain Brink handling this?
Well, the smells and the disgust immediately caused me to put the visor down on my helmet which I'm just wearing most all the time, as Alex has pointed out, probably. So just like, the visor goes down on the helmet, and then I kind of look like a member of shit. What's the name of that? Never mind. I can't remember the name of that band that whatever. The One More Time. What is that? What is that band? It makes that song One More Time. Come on. Anyway, no, it does not.
Is it the
More
techno
time.
one? Is
The
it like
techno band. Yes, I look like those guys.
It's Daft Punk.
Oh,
Oh,
Daft Punk,
no,
Daft
I look
Punk,
like
Daft
the Daft
Punk.
Punk guys, like pretty much all the time. Like I've just always got my helmet on. But and so I'm just like, any gloves, like I started to maybe take my gloves off as I come in, but once I realized how disgusting it is, I put them back on. My character's a bit of a germaphobe, so I'm just gonna like frantically start trying to clean this place up, and then stay far away from those modules because I don't want to like accidentally like mess up some sort of high score on there and make it seem like I'm not Thaddeus Brink. So I'm just like,
score.
yeah, I'm just gonna. I don't know, man. I don't know what sort of leaderboards he's hooked into. I'm not fucking with that shit. I'm not Thaddeus Brink, obviously, so I can't go in and I can't handle these combat sims anyway. But yeah, and I'm definitely not touching the porn folder. Yeah, I mean, after I clean up and make myself a nice like nest in the bed with like clean sheets and stuff, that's when I just like settle in and turn on the vid, whatever it's called in the future, the TV, and just like binge watch some space dramas. I don't know.
Don't beat yourself up. I'm sure you could get a high score in the do not open folder.
Oh
or
yeah,
whatever it is.
that one. Yeah.
There are several metrics you could create a high score for, none of which I want to discuss here. So it is 11:38. And I'll say our wherever you start to do, where you go to the laboratory, you fix your mechs, you work on some new modifications, you install new modules, or in the sim suite, or you start creating some videos with your creepy producer Jim Jr. Suddenly at once you hear the warning blare from the bridge. Attention crewmates. In about 30 minutes, we'll be entering the hitch gate to the next system. Be advised, all personnel are required to be under narcotics or any manner of... I'm blanking on the words here. But just say, stand by for hitch gate travel in 30 minutes. All personnel are required to be under narcotics until further notice. And
I couldn't
you
find
it. You're just like, shit, what the fuck? And then you get, oh, thank God, I found one, and then, ping! You just kind of like pass out immediately, like on the floor as you scramble to get it. Some of you have experienced this before, some of you haven't. We will get back to you, and we'll answer questions about hitching after our 10-minute break. Everyone can get a chance to hang back and prepare for just another as we continue our kind of downtime and leave and preparing you guys for what comes next. So see you guys in 10 minutes. Yay! And we're back.
Yeah.
And we're back.
Yeah.
Welcome back, guys. Just a brief break so everyone could get ready for our next stage here, the hitch gate jump. I have included on my Twitter, it's pinned on there. Go check out my Twitter if you haven't. A cheat sheet for people to get a little bit more acquainted with the world of Apostate. That's the setting that this that this game is set in. If we go down the hitch gate, I will describe it just briefly. Just kind of because it's crazy and I like it. Hitch gates hitch gates are the primary mode of faster than light travel. Others exist, but nothing with the same availability and efficiency as hitch gates. They're almost like the Mass Effect gates from, of course, the titular series Mass Effect, in the sense that they rubber band people across different parts of the galaxy. However, for hitch gates, it's a little different. When a ship enters hitch gate, some manner of alien technology that is still being studied, but is replicatable, um, uh, slingshots you across the edge of time and space. You get on the super highway of the edge of time and space, and then the off ramp is the next hitch gate. If that makes sense. Great, you know. It's kind of crazy. I know being slingshotted out. That's also essentially what being faster than light is technically, but nonetheless, it is a process that humans can survive and on vessels as well as other non-humans. I wouldn't say aliens. We'll keep saying non-humans or maidens. We'll call them maidens, MEDANS, instead of non-humans, because I think it's good enough to differentiate. Maidens and humans are capable of surviving hitchgate travel. However, being conscious during this ordeal is not advised for various reasons. So most people are obligated to fall asleep or be under the effect of a heavy sleep agent to maintain sanity and other parts of their body while undergoing this very strange form of travel. All of you have taken these sleep agents, these narcotics, sleep darts, tranquilizers, whatever you want to call them. The large frigate of the large super carrier of the Canopy of Joy enters this ring, and there's this sort of ethereal emerald energy that spreads around its shape and chassis, and is suddenly dispersed from this time in this place, and to anyone looking at the gates, it'd be almost in the blink of an eye in which your ship arrives to the next gate. But for the actual ship, it undergoes an extended period of being crashed upon by quantum molecules, let's say. But some of you are just unconscious. Some of you will wake up very quickly as you finish your jump. But for others, they will still be asleep and dream. Sean, you don't have good dreams most days, most nights. You've mentioned before that you've probably had worse nightmares than exo attacks. Which is to say something, because those things are straight out of the membrane. I think the best way to describe this dream, and perhaps why some could consider it worse than an exo dream, or just seeing exos, is that you aren't really seeing anything while you dream. You are lucid enough to be aware of sensations, but to be in complete and total darkness. There is this itch that rises towards your throat, and you go to scratch it, and it gets sort of just hotter and hotter and hotter, and you just keep scratching it and scratching it. You know that you're just not even aware of yourself or your surroundings, and there are these kind of this long distant echoes, sort of just reverberating in the distance. They are so scrambled and undiscernible that they just sort of these random screeches that move through your head, and you just smell this hot and burning flesh. That's really the extent of the dream. Is this extended burning, this extended scratching, the noise. You aren't aware of anything but these sensations for what feels like hours before you wake up and you're just in a cold sweat, and you're just reaching towards your neck and your body, and then you reach towards the small of your neck for a moment before you realize what you already know, and kind of slump back on your bed as everyone continues or recontinues their time aboard the Canopy of Joy. So I was told before we got on break that Axon had a programming thing he wanted to do. So what did you want to do with the SimSuite stuff?
Oh yeah, it's so while everyone else was having fun naked times, I guess, with their
No pants parties?
yes. I had gone over to the sim and I think I probably would have had to combine a few different programs maybe to get what I was looking for, because what I'm trying to program is almost like a hide and seek, avoid detection, infiltration thing, where the things you're hiding from are invisible. I'm trying to essentially like replicate the things that were chasing us, so that I could like.
Ooh.
I'm trying to get better at, in case we run into those again.
What were you saying? Oh, you were saying something, Talpa, before.
I was saying I know I shouldn't just assume everything because it's a high-tech society, but we do have like extremely user-friendly like game engines where you just straight up be like, oh, what do you want to do? Like it's you wouldn't necessarily need to program if I had guessed.
No, I assumed program. I don't know. At least in my head, I assumed it was like press like 2 buttons and it would know what I would want. I used program, I guess, very loosely.
For combat simulation like this, they would probably give you some manner of engine, but so those button presses will be possible. I would describe it as your conjuring a drone that is completely invisible to you in all senses of the word, no sense of camouflage. You just cannot see it in this environment at all. But it will be aware of your presence. Do you want it to detect sound?
Yeah, I'm essentially like turning up like its audio input sensory information to like as fine-tuned as it'll get, because I'm essentially just trying to run myself through drills to get better at my technique of hiding these things.
All
like
right.
that's very much like Axon's, like the way he got good at fucking like Space Brawl, Murder Brawl. I always forget the name. Like Cosmo Brawl, that's it.
Cosmo Brawl
was like just through like watching recording after recording and continually like tweaking his bullshit. And I assume that the longer I do this, the more like just footage Jim Jr. will have too.
Yeah, Jim Jr. is kind of in the background. He's got like the phone on the tripod, and it's kind of he's sipping something from a cup. As you're going through these drills and motions, your engine allows you multiple maps. Some are kind of like night infiltration. Some are like a normal inner space base under attack. Some might just be just a regular training ground sort of situation. Others a white void that you could probably stare into for a significant amount of time, just to ponder, maybe contemplate just life and death.
How did I get in this situation? What mistakes did I make in my life to be here?
Personally, kid, I don't see this as a win or lose. I see this as just a middle path.
I'm meditating. I'm meditating.
It's setback. It's a setback.
No commentary needed. None.
Okay, keep going, champ. And he's just sort of like typing on his phone, like,
Oh my God, I've never met anyone that types that loud. And it's you do it like one-handed. You do it with like.
Yeah. This thumb just like. His text is like the old man, like it's like zoomed in. Like have you ever seen like the text? Some people need it, but I'm just saying like sometimes you see older grandparents use that sometimes. Yeah, I'd say it goes. It goes. you have to learn about what makes a sound and what makes noises, and like if you're turning the audio frequency, the audio reciprocator, whatever you said, the audio up on this drone, slight movements do create stimuli for it, and you're getting a quick sense of for the heightened senses of a drone, where you could probably be quieter, and where you can change some of your movement, like where you're putting your weight. And then you set it down to what you could normally assume to be a normal human creature, and for the time you spent adjusting your weight and stuff for this drone, it's far at least easier to keep yourself quiet around a normal human ability to hear, if that makes sense. So as you finish up your simulation, you get a buzz on your phone, and it's already been posted and edited quite seamlessly together by Jim Jr. I don't know what to call. What should we call it?
I don't know. How interesting is a video of me hiding from invisible things?
Oh, it's not just you hiding from invisible things. It's you getting tased or zapped when you get caught, or like however you want to handle when it detects you. It takes some of the low moments of that into account, but it also does show some of your high moments. I know it's called Calm Before the Storm, Hurricane's Intense Stealth Regiment, fuck.
He's got like some BuzzFeed-esque article already pulled up to launch like hours later, like 10 tips from Hurricane to like be more stealthy on whatever bullshit.
Jim Jr. is writing the description. I comment underneath the video like, see how I move without so much.
Running a daily blog.
Yeah, he's running he's uploading to the extranet. He's writing on the blog. He's doing the BuzzFeed. Like he's doing the whole thing. And like, I gotta tell you, champ, they're gonna love this. Hey, next time you come to Sim Suite, you bust out maybe some of your mech, do some shooty things. That's gonna get some real interactions real quick, man. I gotta say.
I have to ask, how much of the video feed did you get off of Poltergeist for all of that?
Yeah, you see, I went to your mech and went to download that footage. There's this really strange guy who speaks in this kind of brusque accent. He he threatened to shoot me if I took that information from the camera. I don't think the monsters are kind of gonna be stream savvy, in the future. But we can find ways around it. I've been told that you might be finding some pirates sometime or another. I don't know. But that's apparently fair game, and I think everyone wants to see. You know those videos when a guy attempts to rob a bodega, right? A space bodega. And the guy, the cashier comes out with a shotgun, and then the guy just fucking takes off. That gets so many views. All right, I'm thinking it's gonna be the same kind of situation. If I'm being honest with you.
Yeah, that's what you.
That's my thought process. I'm brainstorming here.
What is the bodega in this scenario?
You're the bodega.
So.
You're the bodega, right? It's like they're gonna come up to you like, oh ho ho, I'm gonna hit you with this big fucking mech sword because we have mech swords apparently, and
what do you mean apparently? You've seen me use that for years. What do you mean apparently?
No, I'm not hating on it. I mean, it's really cool. I mean, people are gonna just eat that up.
Right.
Really, I'm just saying it's it's kind of a cool, ludicrous idea. But like they're gonna come up with you and try to hit you with a sword, and then like, uh-oh, you got a sword of your own, and then just slice them in half, you know?
Right. And so what?
It's like
And
what?
you're saying that giant building-sized turtles with multiple human limbs coming out of every fucking hole is not trendable, is what I'm hearing.
How do I put this in a way that? Oh, okay. So
That doesn't fit the brand.
no, it does, no, it fits the brand. It fits the brand. I'm two things. One, someone will come and kill me, and I think that's a big. That's a big. Another major setback that we don't need. Number two. All right. So yes, that will get views, right? But I think it's you know, we have a couple fucked up planets here on the Alliance. You know, people dictator planets that bomb villages and stuff. A reporter comes in with those videos. People aren't watching to interact, right? They're watching because they want to see what the fuck is up. That doesn't make them happy. That makes that people lose sleep. You're gonna I bet you look. We saw some shit that made us lose sleep, right? Like, I don't think making people lose sleep and making people worried and making people freak the fuck out is part of the Axum brand. Do you understand? If you slice a space pirate in half, people are gonna be like, oh ho, he should never come to you. He should never try to hit you. He never should have tried to mess with you. You know, that's like an underdog story. You know, they're like, you know, these space pirates gonna be firing all kinds of things at you. But you don't back down, and you kick their ass. And you know what? That's a human experience, all right? Turtles with legs, not a human experience. Make people freak out, and also people will come and kill me in my sleep, likely. You know, so we got to deal with some of the guidelines that were being given here by Interspace and by the Alliance, and I think we can make something bigger out of not pissing them off and also not freaking people the fuck out.
So I'm confused. Maybe I'm just confused as to this whole situation with the contract. Who exactly are we advertising for at this point?
I mean, well, technically a propaganda machine. I mean, come on, dude. A contract with the military, that's some real straightforward, like, you know, heroic shit. Heroic shit. You know? We're not doing scary shit. We're not doing, you know,
I mean,
oh my god,
you're not doing scary shit. I feel like I just actively participated in quite a bit of scary shit.
Okay, so do you want to have people relive your torment?
I'm just very confused as to why they would buy my contract and then place me somewhere where we can't utilize a significant chunk of the footage. I feel like something else is going on here.
I'm not gonna question it either. Look, I mean, they expect you. I'm not privy to all the details, but I can tell you this: you're good at what you do. I think while they really like having some good, you know, publicity on the 105th Armored Calvary Brigade, you know what I'm saying? That publicity isn't as important as what you can do, right?
So if we're prioritizing my skills and not the publicity, am I still expected to play up this whole bad boy bullshit? Am I still in character?
I mean, your character's a big part of your brand, baby. But like,
so that's a yes. That was a yes. That you can cut to the yes or no parts.
Look, I'm doing a lot of the editing. All right. If you want some leeway on that, I can give you clearance for you know, editing your own videos and making do stuff like that. You can be forward about some of your stuff with Cosmobrawl if you want, except for the some of the other parts. But I think the most important part is people want to see you hit stuff and be like, oh ho ho, you shouldn't have come to me, you know. So however you want to handle that part of your branding, I'm willing to let you, take the reins. I've been just trying to make sure, you're getting the attention you deserve.
Oh, no, to be perfectly honest, I don't give two shits about how you edit, what position you put me in when you edit it. My question is how much of a song and dance routine I have to do here for the actual living of my life. Or can you just work with what I get?
I'll work with what you get, baby. Look, bad boy routine, it's great. Cosmo Brawl gave you some plenty leeway for that, but okay, I get what you're saying now. I get what you're saying now. I'd rather you be alive than you try to, keep trying to play up, bad boy. If bad boy gets you smashed like a pancake, then bad boy can go on to win.
I don't mean in fucking fights. I mean, have you seen the fucking people I'm working with? How am I supposed to, like, one, I'm not pissing them off. Did you see how many fucking knives that one has? I don't want to get stabbed.
They have a ludicrous amount of knives. That was very interesting. I got hit in the head with a suitcase from a guy with a just a ching, like a
Bad boy's a little hard to pull off when we've got broody knife person and like sulky mystery man in the helmet that talks like this and is the knight.
Yeah, I mean, that's a very interesting performance on its own. So why don't we just let you go ahead and do your thing? Look, if you have to take a step back from that, maybe we can spin it this way. Maybe becoming part of the military has changed your viewpoint, right? Maybe it's made you see that sometimes the world gets a little bit too rough, so you have to get a little more soft. And so that's the way you let people into your heart.
I hate this already, and I am so glad that I don't watch our products.
Okay. All I need from you is just a little bit of a video, just like a selfie, selfie camera, just saying how hard it's been being part of the military and how you've kind of been learning from some of your past mistakes and how you're trying to make a new leap forward. And then you know what, I'm gonna put just camera footage of space deer or the Grillix, bounding Grillix across the fields and children playing with their families, and they're gonna eat it up. I swear to God. All right. So you know what? Perfect. I'm glad we had this talk. You're taking hold of your brand. Really like that. All right. Now let's. You should hit the showers, man. I'm gonna go ahead and just keep working here.
Yep. This chat went exactly how I wanted it to. Thank you. I will see you later.
Proud of you, baby. And he kind of just walks off and just lights a cigar somewhere. Much needed talk though. Very good.
Yes, I do need to go shower after talking to Jim Jr.
Oh, I mean, you just got off your training sim too, but that too. Okay.
It's the nice way of saying you fucking stink.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So, is there anything else you guys want to do? I know. Yes, Tom.
What day is it?
It is the 18th. It's kind of been around 9 hours now. That 8 hour that thing with Axton was before the jump, but after the jump and after the 8 hours, it actually, hold on. No, it'd still be the 17th. It'll be the 18th soon. 8 hours and then just a period of time traveling through another system to the next hitch gate. So that'll probably have been 12 hours.
I would like to use my word on the street skill to try and find out a place to get some black market cosmetic surgery done.
Ooh.
I want to get a voice modulator put in to where my voice is constantly exactly like Thaddeus's, basically. I don't know if I can do that on this shit, but
I will give you two options. You can either go through Thaddeus's old console
I don't know if that's
and see if you can find any contacts, or you could maybe go to some of the the ensign dorm decks, you know, where many of the ensigns are, and you could probably um uh figure your way to that sort of conclusion. So I'll give you two options for that.
Yeah, I'm hesitant to touch anything of Thaddeus's period. Like his console, I want to get like the data taken out of it, but I don't actually want to like access it at some point.
Yeah.
Because there might be a random like security protocol that pops up and requires a password, and I'm like, I just don't want to risk that. But so yeah,
Okay.
I definitely, you know, I don't want to take up any scene time or anything, but yeah, my character does just, you know, in the background over these 2 days, want to try and figure out how to maybe get that voice modulator put in.
You will probably talk to some of the ensigns about like, hey, so like, do we know anything about like the system we're going to, Aramin? And he's like, oh yeah, dude, like, Aramin is one of the more major systems. You know, there are a couple spaceports in orbit around the system that house a lot of people. You know, you can get some weird stuff there. It is the Meda Cluster. Things are a little bit more unregulated out here. Security is not as tight. Transitions of power are still going on. So, you know, you can probably get your hands on some surgery and stuff like that if you were really interested. You know, I think you got to be really careful with how you take your leave on that.
Oh,
Um,
for sure. I know how
yeah.
to talk to people on the streets, though. Don't worry.
I I wasn't worried about that, but okay, Captain. Are you gonna do some like investigations? Was this some part of a mission or something?
Yes. Don't say anything else about it, though.
Okay, okay,
then if
shit. I'm just glad that Captain Brink was just here in front of my eyes.
Yeah. Whenever I crack this thing wide open, you'll be on my list of people that helped me.
Cool. You know what? Just if you get any word to the Major, I mean, I'd sure be grateful. Um, Sumi Arata is actually here, in the ensign deck. And she's just kind of like, kind of just watching you a bit, and she's kind of perked an eyebrow, like, "Hey, Captain."
Oh, hey. Hey.
Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
I just said hello there.
Yeah. What was that back there?
What, back where?
That guy you talked to. I thought you were handling all the exo stuff. Do you really have time for black market busts or anything?
I'm Thaddeus Brink. I got time for more than one ass-kicking mission at a time.
Yeah, sure. You know what? Yeah, okay. By the way, thanks, guys. Some of your reports really talked me up, and you know, some of us were staying up here for medical aid.
I'm out of here.
And I just leave rudely.
Okay, bye.
That's what Thaddeus. He's like always an asshole in interviews. Like,
Sure, maybe.
I've decided that. It's my character.
Technically not your character, but actually I like that though. I will say that many interviews of him have he has come off of very rude against
And I end up overdoing it, probably, you know, trying to.
yeah. Yeah, I don't think he there are a couple scandals that did follow him, such as an affair that you're not really aware of. Like there was like apparently some kind of manner of affair or tryst he had with with like someone important, but you're not entirely certain about anything about that information because you kind of skimmed. You've been skimming a lot of his stuff to get like a very big broad profile of him.
Yeah, I was like living in an alleyway, like tidying up my cargo box that I was staying in, and when his mech landed nearby and crushed a building, yeah, I didn't have time to learn a lot about this guy if I wanted to hijack the mech. But yeah, no, that's perfect. I figured that would be the case with him anyway. There'd be a lot of stuff I didn't know, which I've heard about the affair of, and I know it's with an important person, which is why I've been trying to stay away from so many people because everyone's seemingly so important. Like I'm just like I don't fucking know who it is.
I don't know who's important.
I was a street urchin before this. Everyone seems way more important and official than me. So like it could be literally anyone on this whole ship.
Oh, alrighty. So you have a good lead on where to get some black market stuff done.
Yeah, and I can get some cosmetic surgery for my like nose and stuff to make myself look more like Thaddeus, so I don't have to wear this stupid helmet all the time.
Telva, do you want did you want to do anything or did I read that wrong?
Yes, I will, because good moods are important to good physical health. I will look through quite a few different recipe books. None of them seem really appealing to me, but then I stumble upon like this old archive of like the I forget what era it was, but like when Jello was fucking the shit. And I will just find this cookbook of like, you can do this with Jello? Oh my gosh. And she is spending just like copious amounts of time putting human food in Jello and making like, well, you know the look, like the ham and cheese in a Jello mold for some fucking reason.
Which is
And
why
like,
cubes exist, right? Because everyone in the 80s was afraid of Jello. Especially because it looked like that.
so yeah, I just spend the time to try and like,
With walnuts.
pardon?
I remember a Jello salad with walnuts.
Just sounds weird.
Anyway,
Ah,
I
okay.
I start kind of like going around asking people like what they want me to make out of Jello and whatnot.
All right. I think Arthur, King, kind of just like kind of walks by and like, should I even ask?
I'm making things out of Jello, like used to make on Earth.
Oh, on Terra?
Yes.
We haven't used anything with Terra in centuries, and he moves to like take a spoon and like
It
put
seemed to be the only thing I might be good at making. I would expect. I'm not gonna assume, but she thinks it tastes delicious.
You know, I'm glad you're pursuing your truth. Is all I can really say. This uh um has a very rich bitter taste. That yeah. As you were. And he puts down the fork and is like, I'm gonna go check in with Sean. Yeah, okay.
Just starts puking in the background.
He definitely goes to the bathroom and maybe just washes out his mouth copiously. But Sean, you get a knock on your door.
Not the first person I go to. Definitely the last. I am not making that mistake again.
No, Arthur is visiting Sean.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
No, Sean, at that point has like had a shower, done his medication, was just like pulling on a shirt sort of thing as he opens the door. He's in those sort of looser slack jeans and the dark turtleneck, and his hair is like still damp.
He has a nod. He's impressed. Oh. Sean,
Nature.
do you have time, perhaps, to give just a small side report about how you've been handling this new position of yours? I know you came from Spec Ops. Wanted to make sure everything was in order for you. From what you've what I've been told, you've been searching for place of purpose. So Just want to be sure everything's all good.
Certainly, I can do that report now.
Okay, may I come in?
Certainly. And he does. He steps back, and it's like the place is fucking clean. It's like doesn't look at all like he even slept in it.
Mm. He has he just kind of strokes his beard like, nice, keep it clean. We don't do routine inspections for. Oh, good.
The pants are on, Leland.
I was gonna ask.
Well,
Keep your pants on.
That
Come
seems
on.
to be out of place is that there seems to be like what looks like almost like a clipboard, but it clipped in place seems to be a bunch of strings as opposed to anything particular.
Mm. Right. We don't do routine inspections of brigaders, but that's still good, nice work. Keep a place cleanly. It's always good. Prevents you from having to get like really ready too quickly, or just having any trouble finding stuff.
Sure that nobody is observing.
I'm not having cameras installed in your rooms. I think that's.
I didn't expect you to, Major. I mean, unless that's your thing.
You're funny. They didn't really tell me you were a Joker type. Actually, I'm more noticing that you're flirting now, so that's either end. He has this kind of this large. Oh, good.
Either end.
Not really. I think it's fun. He has this large sword on his leg. Not in the metaphorical or allegorical sense.
No, I meant it like Sean's actually like checking out the sword more than he's checking out the man.
Is that a sword, or are you?
Oh, you're happy to see me. The sword itself, you can literally see the hilt. The scabbard itself is sort of just this leather, very straightforward, kind of like almost 3D printed. The sword itself actually looks like a little worn with use. The hilt, and old. But these sort of trunks like. Not threatened in the slightest. He kind of just gives us this very, like, large smile, like... Frankly, I think a lot of these people around here are stiff. I do run a tight ship, but sometimes it's good to have a little laxness when it comes to the finer points of service. Your report?
Yes, of course. Pardon me, rift travel can be difficult sometimes.
It can be. I don't expect people to rise easy from post-hitch narcolepsy. Or I don't know what to say other than narcolepsy. It's something other than deep sleep.
Post-hitch narcotics?
Yeah, post-hitch narcotics, I guess. Hitch naps. So I don't expect people to rise easily from hitch naps, but I understand the situation was difficult, Bandy Prime. But up until that point, I'd be interested in learning how a spec ops agent like yourself is getting comfortable with armored cavalry frames.
Quite well, I enjoy it.
Really?
Very easily.
How is it different than normal combat, might you say?
Not very.
Some people report with varying different responses on that end.
I find it very easy to. You are aware that I do have a full suite installed. It's very easy for me to plug in and be as if I am. The mech.
I noticed your Shantat is more melee focused. I can see why you would have a suite associated with that particular form of cavalry loadout. Let's say.
It is the form of fighting I am most trained in.
So I've read from your time in Operation Canary and Henhouse. All right, your crewmates, your other fellow brigadiers. Good, bad.
Competent so far, though I'm not so certain about this Papatu. I know the royal family that he's from, not necessarily connected directly with great families, but still, I think finding a quantier of that sort of bloodline, finding a quantier of that bloodline willing to turn against that system is very unusual.
It is, and he is, as you can probably tell, a
They-
very unusual person.
Yes, they are. Quantier don't conform to human gender associations.
You've caught me in that, and I appreciate you. Paptu, they are
I have
eccentric.
experience with the Quantier.
So I've read in your group. Oh,
That's
go
the
ahead.
other thing is Arthur's probably noticing. Sean, like the longer he's like slipping back into that old report thing, he's getting quieter and like way more serious. Like sharp serious almost, if that makes sense.
So I've read in your report, or not report, your file. So I've read in your file. I don't expect you to get over any reprehensions working with Quantier like Paptu, but they are
A genius with mechanics.
exactly. They're an important part of what
We
Go
would
ahead.
not have made it out without them.
they are an important and integral part to what makes your team independent and flexible in the field. Talva included. An important part of my own development of a Spare Parts Brigade is that
I would recommend you assign someone to help her with her human language capabilities so she can prevent herself from ending up in awkward situations.
anything I should know about in that regard.
Nothing that is going to affect anything.
Okay,
Had
that
a belief that I was not human, and well, I showed her that I am very much human.
that actually it. If we had HR, I'd probably maybe schedule something since you're not really inclined to telling me about it. But I will if neither party is. I'm gonna talk to Talva later about this. Just so you know, I don't want to. I don't. This sounds like something HR should.
I'm not trying to victim blame that Talva. Sean was very much trying to say that I was the one who fucked up and misunderstood something that Talva said.
I'm going to be talking to Talva about that, but I do agree that her human integration skills could be better.
It's not something of her fault. I misinterpreted how she was phrasing things.
I'm getting more and more concerned the more you say. But I'll just say this. Paptu and Talva, they are important parts of what makes this a team that is capable of addressing the needs of the Meda Cluster. You
How
included.
many of the sites are occupied by Ravon?
As far as I can tell, the Ravone, any Ravone groups, collectives, haven't moved in on these dangerous environments. Say again?
They're called flocks.
Thank you. These Ravone flocks haven't moved in on these areas as they are still dangerous in some senses. Radical groups are taking them for their own uses, their own purposes. I'm not aware why, and that will be covered in the briefing later. However, what I was trying to say is, I want to make sure that the people that are attempting to save the Meda Cluster are people who know this land, are from this land, are born from this land. Does that make sense? I'm still learning the terminology, of course,
Yep.
but someone needs to have a knowledge and understanding of the Ravone flocks, the Gar Clags, the Quantier houses, and while Patu, they are not necessarily on good terms with them. They're still a Quantier, and they're still very good at what they do, and that is an asset that I will not deny. And
You may want to add to your files, though, that Quantier do not handle grain alcohol at all.
you have
pretty
been
sure
up
we
to a
put him-
lot in. Oh god.
I'm pretty sure they started to have hallucinations.
Your group has been up to a lot in a very short amount of time. While that might lead to some more questions in the future, I am quite happy with how quickly you are interacting with the people of the Meda Cluster. I'm trying to spin this for my own safety. I have to write this some very interesting things. Nonetheless, thank you for a private meeting. I'm very excited to work with you. I'm sure that as we continue to develop this mission, as it develops, I'm having some weird words today.
Understandable. How about we just put it as maybe we should spar someday?
He grins. I hope you know what you're asking for. And he stands up and begins to leave.
I know what I'm asking for.
He this kind of turns his head towards you a bit and just sort of like just a small grin. I look forward to that. Take care.
His reaction to this whole thing is hilarious.
He's not necessarily you notice that flirting with him flirting doesn't really fluster him, but the things you're talking about with like the HR shit, like the stuff is like I take this seriously, you know.
Just narking on the whole squad right off the bat.
Yeah, that's my job.
You know, like I'm feeling like secondhand. You know, like secondhand, like what's it called? Whatever this, where you feel embarrassed for someone. I'm feeling secondhand anxiety from like the red tape I'm just about to be slapped in the face with.
It wasn't your fault. I think he recognizes that. Is this just like?
Oh, I
should
thought I
be
was in
worried about
trouble
Sean?
with HR.
No. If anything, Sean would have been in trouble with HR. That was the whole thing. He was like, do I need to call HR about this?
By the way, I fucked up with the new girl.
Yeah, it's like, oh, wow, already we are off to a bad start. So I'm gonna go contact HR, and I think a short, maybe like during travel, towards the hitch to Airman, there will be kind of a knock on your door, Tava.
Sure. Sorry, I was just I'm not sure. Sorry, what time would this have been at? I'm curious.
I'd say this one would definitely be more like 16 hours after hitch.
Okay, just curious. Thank you. I open the door. Hello?
It is Arthur. Telva, good to see you.
Yes. Good to see you.
May I come in for a brief moment?
Yes. Yes. Just flashbacks. Sorry.
Mhm.
That's out of character. Out of character. Yeah, she. I pull up a chair. We have chairs, right?
Yeah, sure. You just
Yeah.
pull up
I
a
pull
chair.
up a chair. I sit on the ground.
Okay. Well, yeah, you would break chairs. Um, so Arthur, or well, most guard do break chairs. It is actually somewhat of a problem as integration goes on, where gar are just like, guys, I can't sit in these things. Where am I supposed to sit? And they're like, huh, we have to come up with a solution to this.
Oh no! I just assumed it was like a cultural thing, like just sit on the floor, because nice.
I imagine the guard doing like the Slav squat.
That's also funny. I'm down for whatever. You can also use if some guard might also use like some of their arms to just prop them up too, sort of like.
Just do pull-ups. Yeah, what's up?
No. It's like Slav squat, and then like two of the arms is like, boom, and like it's like they're actually sitting on their
Sitting
own.
on air. So like I have my hands like this, just kind of locked in, and then I'm just like with my other set of hands, I'm just like crossing my legs in the air, just like yes. No, I'm just sitting on the ground.
I'm
Yeah,
now
it's
stuck.
up to you.
I'm now stuck picturing them as like half lizards, half machamps.
That's kind of what many subspecies of gar look like. Like the red scaled gar are definitely machamps, but like lizards and dragon, like almost dragon like. Arthur kind of just like, Telva, I just wanted to let you know that there is a maiden well, I was totally blanking on words. There's a maiden ambassador here on the Canopy of Joy who's able to assist some of maiden crewmates on any situations between humans and other maidens. They also have a what's a good word? Learning program for people who are learning how to communicate in what's the word? Speak other languages other than the ones they're associated with. For example, the ones humans speak, and other among others. If you require any assistance, um, we also have Larry. Larry's a person who helps people, and also helps people who get who find themselves in situations they're not comfortable. So if you've been in part of any situations that you do not feel comfortable with, you go to Larry, and Larry will be able to help you. And he is also well versed in speaking other languages other than the ones humans speak.
The thing is, like, I don't get the nuance of this. I am just like, okay, why are you telling me this? Okay.
And he's just sort of like kind of
yes.
like waiting for you to like.
No, I just say, yes, thank you. Is that all you want to talk about?
Enjoying your time here on the canopy.
I got to make food.
I saw it was quite good.
No one else has tried it yet, but I will. You know, yeah.
The thing about food and making food, it's just about experimentation. You just keep making it even if something doesn't turn out the way you wanted it to, it's just you keep making more, and then you try something different and see if that makes it, taste better or
This
have a
this
good.
gives me an idea.
I immediately regret saying that, but okay, cool. Um, he stands up like, well, just wanted to let you know about the information. I think you'll find that going to the ambassador would help you improve communication with humans greatly.
I would like that very much. Thank you.
Fantastic. All right. Well, have a good one. And he just kind of just he doesn't hurry out, but he had the difficulty relating. So he's sort of a little bit stiff. And the door shut.
After the door shuts, I say, do you have games like sports? We can play together.
Games. There is an ancient human game that has persisted, especially even after the war against the Cadians. Many games were lost from our home world, but it's called Jenga.
I would be amazing at this. Just like
It's I don't know what Jenga means. Some people have theorized that Jenga means topple. That sometimes Jenga means the pillar of the universe. But we'll never know. So it's just Jenga. So I play it sometimes. I think it's an ancient art, perfect for learning a strategy against an opponent. What Pat?
yeah.
Okay.
I just said, is it? I just yell muted sometimes. It's fine.
Sometimes in sci-fi, they count chess as some ancient sport that that helps you perfect your space warrior combat.
Because that's
You
true.
chose Jenga.
It could have been worse. It could have been Connect 4.
Chess actually really is that, though. Jenga, not so much.
I don't know. There's some strategy into it, you know.
What?
Some of it's random chance. It's reliant on momentum.
If there's strategy to it, then dread and unfair.
I'm just
because there are
what
people.
if it's one of those things where like it's devolved so much, but like now it's played completely fucking differently than how it used to be played? I would love that.
They do Jenga with chess pieces.
Jenga.
It's 4D chin Jenga.
Fourth dimensional Jenga. Okay.
Yes, the pieces move both spatially and through time.
There's
Oh, wait,
actually
but-
you can actually play fifth dimensional chess. There's a game on Steam where you can go back in time and move pieces in a previous instance of the board. Like if you're 3 spaces in, you go 2 or like 10 spaces in, you go 5 spaces back and play on the board as it was five turns ago, and then boop, your queen moves there, and so you create a whole new alternate timeline. It exists. All right, so he's like, yeah, we could play sometime. I'm very interested. Most people aren't very interested in that game, actually.
No, not. I meant with the group.
Oh, you're looking for team drills. We have actually combat simulations with I mean, we also have volleyball and
I would. Is this similar to the game I heard called Dodgeball?
that's very ancient art. None dare speak its name. No, absolutely, it's absolutely like dodgeball in some ways. Except there's a little bit more ruling about a thing in the middle. You know, normally in dodgeball you're throwing things at each other just straight up, but here there's a net, and if you hit the net, you lose points.
So I hit the players instead?
You hit the floor, but the other side of the floor that you're not on with your team.
Someday I will make sure to try this.
Okay. Still have Jenga, if you're interested. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, bye.
Hi, Raiders.
Oh, raid! Oh my God, we get raids just as we're nearing the end. Oh man.
It's
Thank you
fun.
for the raid.
Yeah,
I don't know how well a gun is against bees. Well, I'm very grateful for this raid. Thank you guys. I don't know how well a gun is against bees. I don't know what that means, but I'm very happy to hear it. Welcome raiders. We are actually kind of just sort of wrapping up our roleplay for our Lancer game. We had some downtime. We will be doing some plot stuff next session. I will say this. Let's get into some serious mode. As you all sort of finish your let's say considerable amount of leave after fighting these monstrous creatures, we're going to zoom out. All right, we are going to zoom out and go to the Meda Cluster. There are so many different people and things and places. Militaries, militias, pirates, rebels. Somewhere, someone's hands part an organic silken weave in front of a doorway. The very touch seems to encourage the fabric to pull itself upwards like the slink of a spider, and open to a balcony overlooking a blue sunset. The colors of the cerulean cascade are much more vivid to them than humans. The shattered fragments of yellow irises splotch against purple pupils. Their ears are sharp, and their hair falls in drifts of fog as the wind picks up against the valley their palace is tucked within. They bring a cup to their lips and take a drink, then spit it back out, tongue scalded, hot and decidedly human. Terrible, their pitch whines, before pursing their lips to breathe upon the beverage. The dull orange sky is chased away by the dark, and the Quantiran gazes at the valley as shadows grow. They take another sip, mulling the taste in their mouth. A smile spreads against their wishes. At least they're good for something. Elsewhere, explosions rock a freighter delivering supplies to a space station. Patchwork mech frames emerge encased in blood, pulling crates and bodies with little remorse. A giant mech powering down missile silos opens its hatch, and its pilot takes a deep breath of the smoke. Their body shivers and a wild grin bears. Napalm always was their favorite. Another place, a city square filled with people. Bottles are thrown against the streets, signs in deep red brandished by protesters and counter-protesters alike. Don't like us, leave us. Humans 1, aliens 0. Our planets, our rules, are what the protesters levy. They're counter-protesters, also humans, but with Ravone, Jair, and Quantier sympathizers, are clashing with hollow shields and barriers erected by the police. A man with a tattoo of the earth and the clutches of a flexed, 5-fingered human hand pulls a rifle out of a trash can, as do others on the protester sides. Counter-protesters begin to flee at the first sight of these weapons, the first shot sadly fired in a war against integration. And finally, a wreckage of a battlefield is scavenged by a warship. Its flag on the paint of its hull just barely shows its former allegiance to the pointed star of the Alliance. Regimented men with no patch on their jackets operate drones picking apart and dismantling the broken derelicts of the Meda Blitz. A warhawk of a man sits in command on the bridge, a terrible scar carving patterns into his face, his scowl of convictions turned vindictive. Their time was coming. All these people, all these places, seem to be in your path. In your path towards peace, integration, stability, and perhaps an answer to this burning question. What are exos? What is this mission really about? And how will you be able to decide the fate of this place and beyond? And we're gonna finish there tonight. Thank you so much for coming, guys, and thank you for the raid. I was really hoping you guys could see more of our downtime and roleplay. It was really cool. I'm glad you guys got to get a lot of awkward conversations out of the way, as in, what are human bodies, and should I report this to HR in multiple instances? I don't take that lightly, but I'm just saying, like, you know, plenty situations.
Straight up reported himself.
Bold of you to assume this will reduce the number of awkward conversations we have in the future.
Yeah, they're definitely
Like
still
there's a finite supply, and we won't just continue to produce them.
It's an exponential fucking curve, or whatever it's called.
I'm glad we all talked about some of the things that were talked about awkwardly. Let's go around the room again and just keep introducing ourselves. Patrick.
Sure. Hi, everybody. I'm Pat. I am a tactic on Twitch and on Twitter. You have found my channel if you are here, and thank you for being here and watching us. I had an absolutely fantastic time with our awkward conversations this week and getting to dive a bit more into everybody's characters, including listening to everybody else's conversations and knowing that I have none of the requisite information to get all of the subtext yet. Especially Sean. But no,
Well,
it was so much fun.
It's gonna be so awesome when you guys know. It is gonna be so cool.
Oh, but yeah, it's here on the channel. You can catch probably, I think, this Friday. At least Leland and I will be playing something. Maybe Zan, if he's able to join us again for our Friday co-op stuff. At the very least, you'll see me and Leland getting murdered by ghosts as we fail to investigate houses again. That'll be our bare minimum promise for Friday.
Oh, hey, I talked to Raven, and she said she would be down this Friday. Maybe not this Friday, but the following one, I think. Is when she said she'd be down. So.
Yeah. And then only other place to catch me right now is this Saturday evening Eastern time. I'll be on Polished Cryptid's channel, GMing the last game of our little Urban Shadows miniseries.
oh,
and
wonderful.
And then Water starts again at some point on Raven's channel. I don't know when I'm supposed to play that, but I will be there.
The game is January, Tuesday. First Tuesday in January.
Okay, it'll be then. That's where half of the people on screen will be, and like more people in the chat.
Alrighty. So thank you. Check out their stuff, Water, and this wonderful channel. Stuff like that, you know. Talon.
Hello. Blanking. Sorry. What am I supposed to do? I'm so sorry.
Introduce
just-
yourself and say what you liked, and
Yeah.
then yeah.
You
Tell
do
us what
you do whatever
Makes
you
a lot
want to
of
talk
sense.
about for this outro. It is free form.
I can be found. I do a bunch of like art stuff, which I'm getting back into. I'm doing like D&D stuff, or just general RPG stuff, art, I should probably say. I can be found at Kathina Draws at Twitter or Instagram. What I liked was the chaos. There was a lot of chaos.
Very chaotic.
Yeah. It was nice, but confusing. And don't forget to drink water. That's the moral of the story.
Water is important. Alrighty. Thank you, Catherine. Next we have a Agent the Boss Alex.
Oui. Bonjour, je suis la Alex. Sorry. We were talking about French accents earlier. Yeah, hi, I'm Alex. You can find me around on my personal Agent Boss, or if you're looking for my art, I stream and I post art on Can Chaos Art on Twitter and Twitch. Yeah. honestly, Sean's realization that, oh boy, we had a real misunderstanding here. I'm gonna put my pants back on now and just answer your questions. That's the least I can do right about now.
Well, you know what that is? That sometimes you can only make up for things in certain ways.
Also talking in like secret code.
Secret code. Secret code. All right, thank you, Alex. Check the stuff out at Ancient Boss, Sloth, or Leland.
Hello, everyone. I am Leland.
Dog.
This is Willow. I just woke her up. She's cute. But anyway, I enjoyed the game. Obviously, I like. I don't know. I just like capital ship travel scenes generally because it's like its own like city or something. So that's gonna be kind of cool exploring into that more. And yeah, as far as where to find me, mostly just what Patrick said, with the exception of Friday at 7 p.m. We're having our finale of our Masks game on twitch.tv/Raven, RAVVYN, and we're finishing up. It's gonna be sad, but hopefully we'll come back for a second season. But yeah, we have a cool final battle superhero teenager session to do, and I'm really excited for that. But yeah, come check us out 7 p.m. Central, and yeah. And that game Water that Patrick was talking about is a Subnautica tabletop RPG, like homebrewed Subnautica tabletop RPG experience. It's really fun if you've ever played Subnautica. But yeah, it's a cool translation into a tabletop game.
And half of us are in that game.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. And the other half might end up having to be guests at some point. We'll just bug Raven, but we need a guest.
Alrighty. Thank you, Leland. And of course, I am ChatterboxAVA at ChatterboxAVA. I do cool stuff. I have a cheat sheet for lore on this world on my Twitter. And I'll be probably updating it today or tomorrow regarding some new stuff you learned, especially regarding the Menet Dragoons and Joan Donahue. One of my favorite characters among the stuff. Also, Arthur King and Dorian. Cool people to have. That's all on my end already. So what's all the plugs?
I absolutely want to be best friends with Joan, by the way. It wouldn't be a complete wrap if we didn't talk about how fucking cool she was with her holographic dragon that I'm still hung up on.
I mean, you should even see her in combat. The Emperor is a really impressive mech frame for its support capabilities and sort of like leadership role over shields and fucking cool shit. But as cool as she is, like, you guys are probably going to have to not fight them, but like maybe rivals, or at the very least in obstruction of your own goals.
Wants to grow up to be.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty, so I think we're done here. Next session, the path forward, the setting, from those cryptid descriptions, what you guys went pursue first. Maybe a little bit more downtime, maybe more prep to get you guys back out into the world of the Meda Cluster, and other stuff. So until then, we're here with Spare Brigade, and we'll see you guys next time.
So we're gonna go ahead on a raid. We are gonna
raid
go
into a raid.
Yeah. We're gonna go raid Interpoint Station, who is also streaming a Lancer campaign right now.
What's our raid cry?
Our raid cry is don't forget to call HR.
Gosh.
Don't forget to call HR. I hope we're not associated with that from now on.
Whatever. That's why
It's positive. If something happens, report it to HR. It's a positive message.
Thank you for joining us, everybody.